Good morning. This is Daniel with the Legacy of Daniel podcast. It is November 5th, 2025, and you're listening to the Crown and King Mercantile Exchange video series here on my podcast channel. This show is a bit of a reboot. I've attempted a few times to go with a bit of a financial, economic type of show just to speak on some opinions and go over some of the things that I see out in the world as I participate in our truly beautiful capitalistic society. And so this is where I'm going to try to pick that up again and continue talking on some of the ideas that I have. As I said, I picked up, I manage my own IRA account for my retirement. And I do some other trading things, but this is not something where I will be giving advice, nor should it be taken as. I like managing my own money. I like being in control of my money. I like participating in the financial financial news, and I like participating in our society and participating in the prosperity of both working and from both observing the the beauty of our nation and our financial system. I think first I want to I'll talk about here the importance of participating in our society, participating in the economy, whether it's just through a job or perhaps you are an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurship has come under a lot of stress. There is a lot of hammering down of any type of creative entrepreneurship that can bring opportunities to the American financial system. And because of this, we have towers that have begun, these unionizing type of towers, such as materialistic hedonism that leads to expensive housing and cars, the unionizing mindset of university degrees, trying to funnel as many young people off into university, funneling as many young people off into athletics, taking time away from skills and participating in the workforce. So we have a lot of problems with our current financial and economic system. It is far too based on the vanity of economics and not enough on the reality of participation. And so, because we don't have a lot of participation early on in life and we don't have individuals learning to enjoy participating in the free market, in the labor force, participating in society through work, and then also using their hard-earned dollars to either save or spend, the young people of the past couple of generations are not learning very critical components of not only living and participating in society, but also critical components of the American story. I believe we need to find ways to introduce young people to not only participate more in the workforce, the labor force early on in life, but also think of creative opportunities, creative entrepreneurship, and start stemming away from this delusion of degrees, university degrees, of athletic participation, and or this idea of just participating in the economy, buying things to keep the materialistic wheel going, which just keeps this tower in place, in check, and keeps those who oversee this power in check. And those who oversee this power of materialistic hedonism are not American loving individuals. They generally lead more towards a social democracy. They can't solve problems because they are the ones that created problems in the first place. And then they try to play the victim card, the victim game. And there is no room for that in the American story. There is no room for that in our origin story. And so the only room we have is the true creative spirit of America, creative entrepreneurship, the mighty and vigorous spirit of work, noble work, mighty work, from the laying of railroads to building of bridges, building ships, we can accomplish a lot when we just simply choose to participate in the reality of the American story, our origin story, and begin writing our own, than when we just choose to go off and participate in really vanity, such as the chasing expensive university degrees, unless you perhaps get an academic scholarship or even athletic scholarship, which I'm not in favor of really these days because they hand them out like candy. Or if you have the funds to go, or perhaps you attend a community college and also work at the same time, which is what I did. And that is actually a truly beautiful thing because you can participate in society, participate in the workforce, and get an education from both university and being involved in the workforce. And that is my goal here, to encourage more of that, more participation, and less of the vanity of just running greedily off after vain materialism and just keeping the status quo in charge, and then waiting for an opportunity to bring in various forms of social democracy, because there is a problem with the free market, there's a problem with America, there's a problem with those in charge, when there really isn't. It is those who are just standing by, doing everything they can to create damage, to create problems, to create division, and then coming up with some very lame idea of solving our economic problems through just giving things away for free, and then attacking those in charge, those in power, who may have created a lot of jobs, may be wealth creators. And so we need to stop that. America is a wealth engine, a wealth generating engine, and when we put a bushel over this mighty flame of wealth generation, we are causing a lot of harm to the entire world. And we are being knocked off course of our origin story and the destiny we've been called to fulfill. And so now I want to strongly urge all to continue really fighting for the true beauty of American capitalism, that is built from unity, compromise, problem solving. And yes, we've had very wealthy people that have benefited from America, and these wealthy people have done a lot for America and the American people and the American dream. It wasn't until people started crying, complaining that there were people that had too much money, that the American dream started falling apart and things started becoming too expensive. And so if we would just stop blaming, stop attacking, and stop turning towards a social democracy, we can see that true beauty of the American spirit, the American flame of liberty, and the robust economy that can come from it. It would be a beautiful, beautiful thing for all, and all can participate in this inclusive, open concept. We need to understand this, because if we do not begin to adjust our understanding of the current infrastructure that we have, it will fall off a cliff. And so our current infrastructure that we have in place, and I don't mean just as roads and plumbing, electrification, but I truly mean like from everything from our ideals, our freedoms, to our public school system, our universities. If we don't see this infrastructure as a means to true prosperity, true change in how we see the economic policies going forth to encourage prosperity for younger people through creative participation, creative entrepreneurship, then this tower will fall over, and then it will be a bag of problems that no one's going to want to pick up. And then it'll just lead to more social democracies and more social democrats just wanting to come in and offer everything for free at the expense of the wealth creators. So let's all take up our noble effort, our take up our calling to fulfill the true story of America, and let's begin participating in society through the creative and vigorous American spirit. That's work to solve problems. That's work to start businesses. That's work to support those who are trying to be creative entrepreneurs, who are trying to create wealth, trying to create jobs. Let's do all we can and do what you can. One of the ways we can do this is just through participating daily, Go out to your local stores. If you're, especially if you're a younger individual, step away from all the sport crap. Step out into society and start studying the products on the shelf. Start studying the businesses. What's thriving, what's not thriving, what's selling, what's not selling, and start building a repertoire of knowledge, a skill set that you can then bring in somewhere or to your own projects and start adding value. That is truly what we need. Start making your own cornerstone, a cornerstone that will stand against all this social democracy that is consistently rearing its ugly and useless head into the American dream, the American lifestyle. It needs to it needs to go away because we do not know it. We do not know its name, and it does not exist in America, in the reality of America. Through participation, we can become a more voluntary, self-governance society, and we can come to better see our vision, our destiny that we have for ourselves and this nation. The infrastructure is there, the knowledge is there, and we can begin using it for a better future for all. I will encourage all to begin thinking differently. Start being bold. You know, can you start going without a car? Can you start walking and biking more to work, or can you find a job that you can work or bike to? Don't always go for the glorious job. Find a job that you can just work at that is nearby, that offers a wage that, yes, is maybe not the best wage, but it's a wage that gets you introduced into society, into the labor force. It's a wage that will force you to work and to enjoy working, to save, to learn how to save, to learn how to invest. I manage all my money. I have my own IRA, and I've been learning through participating and listening how to manage and invest my own money. And that is something that young people need to start doing. And that is one of the ways we fight back, and we fight back heavily against the materialistic hedonism. That's how we fight back against the social democracies. And that's how we come to see the beauty of the corporate world and the true joy that we can get from going to work on a daily basis and participating, saving money, earning money, and watching our money grow as it is invested into the stock market, either through your own doing or perhaps 401ks, which are another beautiful invention for young people. So I would encourage you to get involved in the workforce, start investing, start saving, utilizing 401ks and other saving plans because they add up quickly. And you want to be used to saving a lot of money, putting a lot of money aside early on in your working career because it just becomes easier to save more. Learn to see the beauty in simplicity, see the beauty in living a very rational based life where you don't have to constantly be falling into the daily dopamine pleasures of watching TV, or sticking your face into the phone constantly. I have my favorite TV shows, and I like my phone, but let's start utilizing everything towards creative expression and creating opportunities. The infrastructure is laid. We just need to start utilizing it appropriately. And have the courage to step out and be bold and start speaking your what's on your mind, acting what's on your mind, and acting upon the first principles of this nation: equality, freedoms, the proposition all men are created equal, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Take up your march for the economy of this nation. They're the vigorous and creative American spirit that needs our help, that needs our attention, and we need to go off marching to strengthen this economy and create opportunities for all. I would also like everyone to consider seeing the current models of free market theory as a bit flawed. We have in the past had free market individuals speaking on open borders and sending jobs overseas so we can help the global economy. And Trump has, the current administration, completely gone against that, tightened up the border, and he's bringing jobs back home, manufacturing back home. And this is completely counter to the conservative free market type of mindset that has been kind of floating out there. And so we need manufacturing, and we need to support manufacturing, and we need to stop with the fallacies of free market theories that promote ideas that make us weaker instead of stronger. So we need to have a workforce that is allowed to work. That's truly important. We can't have a workforce or a society that is just forced into narrow areas of competition, such as the corporate world, universities, or athletics. It just leads to this idea of social democracy. And so we need strong borders, and we need to bring back manufacturing, and we need everyone participating in society through our freedoms, economic freedoms, social freedoms. It is what made this country great. And we all need to work. We need to enjoy working, and we need to enjoy saving and investing so that there is a time in the future we can step back from work, move on to something else, or perhaps retire, whatever it may be. But when you start shaping your own financial future, there are a lot of benefits to it. And that is what we need to see, and that is what we need to take advantage of. The infrastructure is already there. We just need to begin participating and seeing the opportunities and having the courage to take advantage of opportunities and or create more. So just thank you for listening. This is once again the Crown and King Mercantile show. I'm going to try speaking on this on a regular basis as we have a lot of social democracy attempting to rise up, and it can't be allowed to rise up in this nation. This nation is built upon work, the beauty of capitalism, creative entrepreneurship, vigorous work, from the laying of railroads, like I said, to building of cities, our public schools. We are a nation of workers, not victim card players that just run to free handouts. I'm not against the welfare state entirely. I think that is a need for some sort of a catch for those who do fall or run into trouble. I have no problem with that. But when we have individuals just consistently advocating for everything to be free just so that they can get into office, we have a very serious issue. And we need to take up the American spirit to truly come to know the creative capitalism that built this nation. And it's not those in charge that are the problem, it is those who are creating the problem and then trying to feed us a false solution that are the problem. So thank you for listening, and I do hope that you come back.